That's a shame.
Yeah, well, it is because the pools are closed, the beaches are closed, you know, so nothing that you can
True.
It's in the living room.
True. True.
There we are.
Hi, Kathy.
Kathy's there now. I
Morning,
think
Kath.
Kathy's mic is still muted, and I think I finally got rid of that waiting room thing, so everybody should be able to pop on.
Hello,
Oh,
I
good.
unmuted.
Perfect. I don't expect this to be a very long meeting because the agenda is mercifully short.
I just have to note, look at Linda in like sleeveless, you know, the shirt and the sun coming in.
It's
and I
already
see
80 degrees here.
Terry and
Ooh.
Jared both have on sweatshirts. I mean, what's wrong with this picture?
Something's wrong.
No, we're all equally warm, you know.
That's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love the Fox baby pictures. It was just
Yeah, last year there was a mother that had 2 kids and was living under our barn out back.
oh my
But
gosh.
this year we hadn't seen them until just about a week or so ago, and I don't think they're living there. I think they're in the area someplace, and I think she parks them there while she hunts. So
Nice. Then you get to see them.
oh gee, it's 3 of them just tumbling around and
And if you
having
had
a
any
ball with
dog
each other.
toys, if you had any dog toys out there, I've seen videos of people having them.
Oh.
They're playing with their dog's toys.
I just have to keep my dog from going out to play with them. So
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, and we're sharing the screen now.
there we go.
So you have the agenda. The one person I don't, I know Jim was going to join us because honestly, I forgot about the meeting.
In. He said he said the number was too long. I told him to click the link.
Yeah, I had to try twice myself. It said that the
Oh.
number was too long the first time, and then the second time it did it.
Yeah, I had to go back out and in a couple times.
Wow. Okay. I'll text him. There. Hopefully that. Will you get an alert, Doug, if he joins us?
Yes.
Should we start on the stuff we can start?
Sure.
But today's meeting is just to go through the agenda in advance so that we can answer a lot of questions. And Jim says he's working on it.
Okay. So yeah, we can start going through the agenda here. Does everybody has a copy of that, or has the link, or was able to download it, or whatever?
Yes.
It's best for you guys, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the screen here.
Yep. So
Thanks. I'm putting it on the screen. I can't, for some reason, my laptop I was going to use, I can't get on. So having a very technically difficult day. So
it's too early. Can we make a motion to make finance later while we're quarantined?
Well, you know, the reason why it's at 8 is for our citizen volunteer who has asked for it to be at 7.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got to reconnect with him. We haven't seen him at the last 2 meetings, and I'm not positive we've been sending him the link. Got to talk.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not so sure he got it either, to be honest with you.
he was sick last time and we quarantined him.
Yeah, the last time he tried to come into the building, you're right.
Oh.
I see Jim is with us now. So
yeah, I figured it out. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, so just right here at the top of the agenda, there's a different meeting ID for the 5:30 meeting as opposed to the rest of the meeting, just to make sure everybody understands that. So after we finish the executive session at 5:30, we'll actually have to exit that and then log into the normal meeting ID. Just that way we can make sure that there's no residents in on the executive session meeting. So that's why we've done that. So, okay. And then Gary Davis said to me, you know, important things here, and I know this isn't finance related, but as we're going through the agenda, he said, Doug, will you have a flag since I'm leading the Pledge of Allegiance? So we'll get a screenshot of a flag or something to put up for that portion of the.
I think last time Kathy put one up on her screen, or somebody did it on their phone and put it in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I did. I
you're
put it in front of the camera. Yeah, I could do that. I could bring down my big flag.
There you go. Okay. Under presentation, so we are going to have the city manager and the city fire chief joining us by Zoom. This is their required annual update to the town board in terms of what's going on with the fire department and how we're making out with implementation of the fire service contract and the number of employees. The city is under a hiring freeze, so they are not going to be able to meet the full contract that we had with the city. So there is a financial, essentially, penalty. So we'll be sending them a reduced amount versus what's in the contract to be in keeping with the contract. I think I've sent you guys up.
Is this the time when the other fire departments usually come in too?
It is, but honestly, they're not
I know.
as
No,
organized
no, I'm
right
not
now
worried
as the
about
city.
it. We can put them at another one, but I just wanted to make sure that we.
It is. So Cheshire and Bristol, or I'm sorry, not Cheshire and Bristol, Cheshire and East Bloomfield both need to provide us with their update also. So, yeah.
Does the contract, does the contract have to be amended in some way then, or?
Not for the one with the city, because it actually spells out based on certain dates, the amount that they're going to get based on the number of full-time firefighters that they have, active firefighters. So we'll just follow the contract. They'll end up not getting as much as what we had originally said. So that means at the end of the year, we'll have a little extra money in that fire protection fund balance. And then we'll have to, try to make sure that we're in position to move forward with next year. The nice thing is with that little change, the city doesn't have the extra cost of the additional firefighter too. And that's what they have their problem right now with the same thing that we're dealing with finances and everything else. But I think what that means, and I looked at it very, very briefly, I think what that means is we should be able to keep the tax rate flat for the fire protection fund, where we had originally anticipated like a couple of cent increase next year. So Terry, I don't remember if it was you or Gary, one of the two of you, I think it was maybe Terry, you and I were talking the other day. Really, I start working on the next year's budget about July, the end of June, July. So it's almost that time to start again. So, and I'll start looking at those numbers. So.
Never ends.
Yeah. So, okay. Then we'll have a continued public hearing on the Bristol Road rezoning. And, you've got the entire town board here right now. Obviously, you guys aren't going to make a decision on anything. I don't know if you want to continue this again or not to give people a chance to weigh in. I know that there were some phone calls that I received after the last town board meeting, when we had that short town board meeting, where people were disappointed because they wanted a chance to be heard. We've said constantly to them that, we're going to have this meeting by Zoom and it's open to the public and they can weigh in. On the other hand, and I'll double check with Eric, I haven't heard where this is a priority for the developer either, because they can't really do much of anything. So
I personally would like to put it over again, but I don't.
Yeah.
Likewise, I'm more comfortable. I'd be more comfortable having this at a live, open it so we can have our next live meeting, because some people are at a disadvantage not being able to log in, or if they have tech issues or whatever, to do it when it's live.
Doug, did you get the sense that the people who were calling you were going to call into this meeting then, or no?
I think the people that contacted me, I believe, are going to try to call into this meeting, but I think that they also, as Jared was just saying, I realize we're all live in front of our phones or laptops, but they wanted a chance to be heard before the town board, I think. So.
So there were people who were saying that and it would be good if they said that in the meeting so that we can, have the documentation that points to it if the developer were to come back, say, people really wanted to have the live meeting.
Right.
Were these the same people that had, expressed concern in the past, or?
Yes, the one lady did not attend the last meeting, and she had reached out to me. Her neighbor had attended the last meeting. Remember, there were at the last town board meeting, there were, I think, 3 people maybe.
Yeah,
that
one lady
showed
kept
up.
referring to someone else, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that other lady reached out to me that kept
Okay.
being referred to, and she was quite disappointed that we held an in-person meeting. She was really disappointed about that at the time, but because she wanted to be there and didn't think that we would do it because of the COVID-19
Virus,
situation.
right.
So, yeah. So I think she does want to be heard in person, and like I said, I don't know of any reason where it's going to hurt anything delaying this. Just continuing it again, whether it's May or June or July or whenever it is that things start to come back. So.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. I support that fully.
Good also.
Okay. And then, so that means this resolution that accompanies that, we'll have to ask you guys to table that also. So, okay, the next public hearing on the water booster station. Jim and Terry, I'm gonna turn this over to you. Basically, we, at the last town board meeting, set a new public hearing thinking that we were going to have to increase the bond amount for this, and the good news is we're not gonna have to, right?
That's correct.
Correct. Yeah, so this is really kind of a moot point at this juncture, right? We're fine with the old 7.57 million number, so this thing can just go away.
Right.
So we just need to open the hearing and then officially close it. I mean, take
Yeah.
any comments of anybody that wants to be heard, but this is specifically towards the increase.
Correct.
Obviously, if you guys want to listen to other comments, if anybody has them, that's great, but this can just be closed and there's no resolution to accompany it. So.
Correct.
Now, Doug, when we originally met to talk about the timeline for the water project, there was some discussion of potentially wrapping some other things in. Do we want to continue to leave that as an option, or no at this time?
No, we'll have to revisit that another time. Okay, then we get into the reports, and I believe the reports have all been in the attachments. Okay, so I'm just scrolling down on my laptop here, I guess. So this first resolution, number 86, relates to that Bristol Road rezoning. So we'll just ask you to table that. I don't know if you just want to table it until the May meeting or the June meeting or whatever you guys want to do. So.
They just continue it until the next meeting, and if we have to do it again, we do it again.
Yeah. So, okay. Okay. The next resolution, number 105 here, accepting the monthly financial reports. Kate or Sam, I don't know if there's anything that either one of you wanted to weigh in on those, but they're all attached.
Yeah, I would just make a note that the budget report that's attached to the agenda is as of March 31st. So it won't reflect the charges that are in this month's abstract that you'll see for review. And it has not yet had any changes, have not been made to the budget. So as you see the budgeted amounts, those are based on the original adopted budget, not any potential changes that we may make after the meeting.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, so this next resolution 106 is adoption of amendments to the 2020 operating budget. Now, the resolution itself is fairly vague intentionally. There is an attachment attached to it, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. I just scroll to attachment number 5. And so basically what this resolution does is adopts the overall number without the detail because we didn't want to attach the detail to the agenda. So we'll have that 5:30 executive session to talk about the specific details. And then let's see here, I've got to share the screen.
Hey Doug, it's Sam. If you just click attachment number, I've linked them all to the attachments.
Oh, nice.
So if you, next time, if you need to go to an attachment, just click attachment number and it'll take you right to it.
That is fancy and nice.
I have an error message that says that I have been signed out of Zoom because I am signed in on another device. And I don't know if it's going to let me share that attachment or not. Okay. So I have it actually open, a second version, which you guys can't see. Can you? No. So the overall number is for the general fund would be $4,042,370 is what the adopted version was. Oh, you can see that.
Oh, we can see this, Doug. I was just gonna say
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. And then the adopted version or the amended version is 3.2 million, reducing that from 4 million to 3. Now that's the general fund. And then on the highway side of things, takes it from 3.99 down to 2.9. So, and it has the specific lines. The personnel line stayed the same for the capital line reduced to 45,000, and the contractual line going from 2 million to 1.4 million. So, those are all the overall numbers. Obviously, we can talk about some of the details in executive session relative to the personnel. The one thing that is in there that I just want to make sure everybody understands, and I know that there's a separate resolution for it too, is the waste hauling truck, doing that as a lease. That's that $45,000. That's that lease payment instead of us purchasing that and spending the cash on it.
Great.
Okay, next resolution here is our integrated systems resolution. We have to buy another 100-hour block that's 75 hours for IT. The way that works is we have 100 hours that we purchase up front, and then we spend that down. And we certainly have been using some IT hours here lately. So this next resolution 108 is the mowing of Route 332. This is not really in Uptown. This really is from Emerson Road North, the agreement that we have with DOT for this. Jim, I don't know if there's anything you want to say about this.
Same agreement we enter with the state every year. We get paid to mow it 4 times a year.
And then just so everybody's aware, Jim and I have had a conversation with a couple of different folks too about maybe some things that we can do to help spruce up the Uptown area relative to the Uptown feasibility study before all this had started. Maybe there's some beautification type stuff, but we're going to have to revisit all that obviously now at this point and stuff too. So, all right, Jim, the next one is the annual drinking water report here.
That is the annual report that we submit to the town board for approval. What it is we obviously had violations in the Bristol Water District due to stage 2 disinfection products. There was nothing in the consolidated for violations. It spells out gallons sold, gallons lost. We're about 7% loss on water revenue. I say lost water, which is pretty good. We don't have a ton of lost water. And once it's approved, they'll go to the DOH and then also to the State Health Department up in Albany. And we'll put it on our website and MailChimp and Facebook.
Is there anything we need to know that's in there?
No, other than just what we sold, what we purchased, how many connections we had. There's nothing extra, nothing that's really needs to be read over.
Jim, looks like the next one is your 284 agreement.
Yeah, we've changed that down to $500,000. We put in there, obviously, the culverts, paving, fixing Whitefulls Road, and some surface treatment on the roads. Trying to figure out how to stretch $500,000 over the road work we got to do this year. One thing I am doing is we have a a newer employee, Travis Spike, who's very, very well versed in paving. And I've talked to some other towns. I think we're going to get together and rent a paver, which will save us a fair amount of money versus hiring out the paving. He feels very confident of doing the work for us. So we're going to give that a shot in May. So we can do some road paving so we can get our CHIPS money entered in as soon as possible.
Perfect. Will we have problems keeping people busy now that we have so few projects we can do?
No, actually, Linda, I wish I had more people because I still got to put in the water main because we bought all that material. That still has to be put in.
Okay.
There's always road work, catch bases, gutters, ditches, shoulder cutting. That has to be done.
Okay, great, thanks. I just wondered.
Well, and just so everybody's is aware too, Jim and I and Jim Terry and I have had some conversations relative to Public Works too about some of the highway guys and the employees. And, you know, one of the nice things is we have the ability through a grant with Canandaigua Lake Watershed Council to maybe have some of our guys work on those projects. So get reimbursed for some of that, as well as maybe some county stuff. And so maybe there's an opportunity with some other municipalities where, you know, when we talk about cutting expenses and stuff, we haven't cut personnel in highway, but there is an opportunity for us to kind of get some of the guys off of quote unquote our payroll a little bit this year to help us out a little bit.
And if we did that, would we be able to bring back some of this, you know, highway work that we're having to put off? Are there any smaller jobs that we could then transfer back onto?
One step at a time, Linda. One step at a time.
I
Well,
appreciate that, Linda. But
I'm not saying, just thinking about it. You know.
let's see how fast the county reimburses us, okay? Because
Okay.
I've given Kate and Doug we submitted for close to 12,000 in payroll the other day to get reimbursed. So let's see how that money flows back to the town.
Perfect.
And then Jim, you're up here again, water department fee schedule.
Oh yeah, sorry, thank you. So when we did our fee schedule in December, we did not receive the final wholesale rate from the city. And what we were told and what was the actual was different. So I'm asking the town board to just make the change on the wholesale rate for water.
I think it lowers it, right?
It does. It's like
A couple pennies.
lower, yeah.
But that doesn't impact the residents at all. That's just
No.
what we charge other
We
municipalities.
charge our municipalities.
But it should help us in our water fund, because it doesn't change what we charge the residents, but we're getting it at a slightly lower rate. So hopefully that can help our fund balance, which can help us with the project, right?
Well, it's not, no, it's a wash because it's the amount that we charge to other municipalities and we're lowering it to what the city charges us. So we charge them exactly what the city charges us.
But isn't this also what the city charges us for our own water?
Yes.
Oh,
And that's
yes,
lower
yes,
than what we
yes.
expected. So what I'm saying is it
Yes,
should give us
yes.
a budget surplus.
A little
Okay.
bit.
A little bit.
Well-
Yeah, but every bit helps.
Possibly.
All right. The next one here, the next resolution is the lease for the roll-off truck, the trash truck that we were just talking about.
So I went out and solicited CMB, LNB, KeyBank, and Real Lease. The only two that got back to me were Real Lease and KeyBank. CMB does not do municipal leasing on equipment. And Lions National Bank never got back to me after talking to them 3 times. So we're going to go with KeyBank. I think it's 2.7. I don't have it in front of me for. correct me if I'm wrong.
2.78 you have here.
Okay.
And again, the benefit there is that's a $42,000 payment this year instead of a $250,000 payment. So that
Right.
helps the budget out a little bit. So, and that truck we're going to keep for quite a long period of time. Those trucks.
Well, we'll have for 10 years per our plan.
So, And the next resolution is also you, Jim. This is pretty much Jim's meeting.
Yeah, I know.
lease for the water tower.
So in there is for the town board to approve the awards on Monday night for each general contractor to do the work on the water project. Once you approve it, Kathy will sign off on it. I believe it's Kathy, it's on it. And then we will then give notice of award, not us, but MRB will notice award to those contractors to start preparing for the work.
All right, Jim, this first one is
This
the
is-
lease with
This-
Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, wrong invoice. Sorry, I'm sorry, wrong resolution. Pro, that's the one we are asking the town board to approve the resolution to take dedication of a right-of-way going up Kramer Road for our water main to be installed off the side of the road. In return, we will give Pro access to his property to gain to get to his property off that road.
So if I read it right, there's not really money being exchanged. Is that true?
That's true.
So we're just going to, because we have that right of way, we're going to maintain the right of way. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we'll have to maintain that. I think it's additional 10 or 15 feet because the water mains that run parallel through there. So we'll be mowing it and maintaining a ditch, which is what we do already with the county.
Right. And so that is the benefit to him, is that we'll maintain it, but then the benefit to us is that we get the use of it.
We get the use of it without tearing up the road and having to put a new road in.
Perfect. That was nice.
Yeah, Dave didn't want money. He just wanted to be able to swap and get the project done.
Oh, great.
Anything else?
The next one is the water project. The
Okay.
next resolution, 114, 7.5 million.
So that one there.
We're
is-
trying to cut costs and Jim's trying to spend $7.5 million just for the record, but anyway. So.
You're, listen. You all know
Go ahead,
how I
Jim.
feel
Go
about
ahead,
the
Jim.
project. So this is for the board to hopefully say yes to on Monday to move forward on our big water capital project. It's the 3 contracts for the 3 general contractors. Anything else on that?
No, I mean, do we want to talk about it more or no?
I want you to say yes on Monday. That's how much I want to talk.
Yeah.
Jim,
I think, we, at some point, we're going to have to do it anyway. So I guess I had a lot of reservations and concerns. And the more I think about it, the more I think that hopefully everything will fall in line. I mean, I feel like there are going to be infrastructure projects and we're certainly going to be shovel ready. So
I'll second that.
I know I was one of the big hesitators and I needed that meeting that we had to talk through it and then to ponder it. And I just wanted to say that today, that I feel a lot more confident because of the note from the people who said that seems like we'll get it. And if people do still feel that way, we should probably talk about it a little bit more if you want.
Is the wording of any of our contracts say it's contingent on us getting that grant money? I would assume not, but that would be nice.
I don't believe it does. It's because the contract, I could be wrong, isn't necessarily tied to that WIA money. Is what I'm trying to say is, regardless, they would be building this project and we are going to submit for the money the town is.
Yeah, I don't think that the individual contractors care where the money comes from as much as getting the payment for their invoices that they submit.
No, I know they don't care. We care. We care whether they
Yeah,
have the
but so you.
I get what you're saying. What you mean is they're not going to sign a contract that's contingent on us.
No.
getting money. That's
No.
what I would assume as well. I was just hoping.
I wouldn't sign one either.
No, I wouldn't either.
So,
And I wouldn't let a client sign one either, so. But
You know, the one thing, just from a financial standpoint, the water fund is not dependent on sales tax, mortgage tax, the parks and rec fees, the site development fees, and all the things that I keep talking to you guys about with the general fund and the highway fund. So in some aspects, the water fund is in much, much better shape than the highway fund or general fund with regard to that. So.
Yeah, as a downturn thing, but I just felt like I am concerned about the impact to the taxpayers, but I also realized that when we first authorized this one, we authorized it knowing that we may never get the WIA grant. So I had gotten so attached to that WIA grant that I did not want to even entertain the possibility we would lose it. But I feel like it's probably a great time to get started, given that so few people are working right now. And outdoor work seems a lot safer than indoor.
This is Gary. I agree with you, Linda, because we were talking one time, I think about 8.5, and you know, it's not going to be to that level the way it is set up at the present time. And I think, Doug, didn't you say there was going to be like 65 to 80 cents per thousand on this water project? Is that
Yeah, that's
7?
Yeah, that's our estimate with the $3 million WIA grant. Is the
Right.
total tax levy would be somewhere between 65 and 80 cents ballpark. So.
Well, the reason I wanted to tell people where my head was because I know I was one of the people who was the most cautious about it and speaking out on that. And I just wanted you guys to know a little bit about what I was thinking. So thanks for listening.
yeah,
Thank you.
if it matters to anyone, Jim, I know you might make you sleep a little better. Maybe not, but I am leaning towards approving it. You know, unless something changes, I have spoken to all of you pretty much about it, and you know, I have the same fear as everybody else, but you know, sometimes you have to go forward despite your fear. And so there we go.
Well, this is Gary again. This is certainly something that I was reluctant about to some degree also, but at the same time, it's a need. It's not a want. It's got to be something that's going to be, you know, needed in the quick before we have any problems. The better off it is, I think.
I agree.
Anything else on that one? That resolution?
No.
No, before I change my mind. Move along.
So this next resolution, and Sam or Jean, you can certainly jump in here, but as the new kid on the block, this resolution requires that Jared come into the town hall and work 6 hours every single day, whether it's mopping the floor.
I wondered how many.
I have no clue what that means, but anyway, talk to Jamie about it. Once we're back, we'll work it out with Jamie.
So does this mean is this 6 hours a week? Is that what that is?
Sam, do you want to explain that?
I hope
Yeah,
it means
so,
6 hours a week.
For the New York State retirement system, you have to do a standard workday between 6 and 8 hours. That's just how they calculate it. So pretty much part-time employees are 6 hours, where full-time, it's an 8-hour workday. It's just the lowest amount is 6. That's just how they calculate it.
Okay.
I still like my idea.
So,
Jared
yeah,
to come
and
in and
the-
do
let me
the
know-
And the
cleaning, so-
5.5, and the 5.5 is that he works 5.456 6-hour workdays.
Is what he averaged in that first quarter.
That's what
right?
he averaged for that
Okay.
90-day period.
Yeah,
Yeah, so just make a list. I'll be in there this weekend.
perfect.
Make a list. I'll do the windows, toilets,
Sure.
gutters.
Perfect. Excellent.
We're going to save money on janitorial because
Yeah.
There we
first,
go.
there's nobody there, and second, because Jared
Give
will
me
be
a
really great.
Give me a mop and a spray bottle.
Yeah. Can you drive a 1-ton snowplow too? We'll have him start plowing the parking lot too. So.
You got it. I've done that before.
Or plant flowers. It'll be the
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, we've got a mower for you, Jared. You can do that too. So.
And a sewing machine to make Terry's costume for the next board
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Sam,
Employee
this next
assistance.
resolution here looks like it's our employee assistance program. You want to touch base on that?
Yeah, that's just the third year of the contract that we approved in 2018. So it's just the third year with the rate. I think next year they'll probably come out with rates for the next 3 years, but yeah.
And it costs, the town's cost, I think, is like $16 per employee. And it's a nice little package. They offer all kinds of services for the employees, especially when you get into a situation like what we're in now, dealing with the situation. You can call in and talk with a counselor. They'll refer you to different people, whether you need some sort of legal assistance or whether you need counseling or financial assistance or whatever the case. So
Yeah,
it's the same.
28 a person for the whole entire year. And yeah, they get like 3 free counseling sessions. It's actually a pretty good program. We did it through the county. It's the same program that the county does. So that's how we got it's a lower rate because we did it through the county.
Thanks. The next resolution 117 is waiving the penalty and cancellation fees during the COVID situation. Now this is relative to the water bills, the dog licenses, and then the normal fee that we would charge for canceling parks reservations, just so we're not hitting our residents with all these different penalties during this. The next resolution here, 118, is our standard resolution that we have done the last couple of years, recognizing Arbor Day. Sarah's gone through and tweaked the resolution because we're recognizing Arbor Day remotely a little bit more this year than doing an event in person. And so she's tweaked the resolution tonight. And then that's it. I mean, really, this town board meeting could be done by what, 6:10? So.
That'll be our goal.
Yeah, we can block a lot of the resolutions, so.
Yeah. And then Kate, I know, emailed out the abstracts with this so that you can see the individual bills. I know it's a little different than in the past, but if you guys have any questions on that, I would just say, let us know. We can give you specific details, but you can go through line by line like you've done in the past. It's just a little different looking at it that way. So. And then I do have one brief executive session I need to have with you guys there about the proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property. So at the end of the meeting. So
Okay.
that's it.
Does anyone else have anything from a financial standpoint that they want to discuss?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody being here so bright and early. We will
Very
Very
nice.
jealous.
we'll
Very
see.
jealous of you, Linda.
Mhm.
We got snow here this morning.
I hear that is a rude
Yeah.
awakening.
Yes, it was.
So, all right. So we'll sign out.
Sign out.
Adios.
Bye.
See ya.
See you guys. Bye.
Everybody, bye.